There we go. All right, come on, baby. Good morning. How are you guys doing? It's Monday morning. We're leaving in a couple hours, so thought I'd get some fishing done for you. I caught 3 largemouth bass yesterday off the stick worm, and they were in this really shallow area with all the pollen still on the top. Yesterday I repositioned all the anchors of this floating dock. Just to let you know what we did yesterday. So there's a big round anchor here, 350-pound anchor here, 350-pound anchor here. That anchor on the bottom of the lake has a rope that goes up to a tie down here, and then that tie down goes to a big anchor that's here. But when the winter happens, the lake rises and you're supposed to loosen up all your ropes, which I did, but the lake went higher than what I loosened it. You just never know how high the lake's gonna go. And then when the ice breaks up along the shore, the sheet of ice moves across the lake this way and pushes my dock and then drags my anchors. So I think this anchor got dragged here and actually tipped over onto its back, and so I had to flip them back over. I put my mask on. Don't need a snorkel because I can stand here, so it's not like I need to flip her around and stuff. So I just grab the rope, pull myself down to the anchor, grab the anchor. It's really scary because you're always thinking that you're going to move the anchor onto your foot, and then you're stuck, or you have to rip your foot out and take an injury just to get air. But yeah, it's a little spooky doing it, but I'll have to train Ben to do it because there's only so many years I'll be able to kind of move 350-pound anchors underwater. So there's 4 on this outer dock. I'd love to buy 2 more and put one here and one here, possibly 3, and then put one out here somewhere and then tie the dock to that one, because again, when the winter comes, we have to take this ramp, put it onto this dock, so it's not attached to the shore, because the winter does a lot of damage. So my biggest fear is that the lake's going to go up high enough, drag all my anchors, and then in the springtime when everything thaws, it's going to relax onto a rock. So this rock, we call this the rock dock. There's a rock that comes all the way over to here, and if this dock rests on it, then the floats, even though the floats that are under here, there's big huge tubes. I think they're like that thick, maybe an inch thick of plastic, but it only takes a couple weeks of it just moving over and over and over and over the rocks to put a big hole in it, and then you have to replace that whole thing. And I have no idea how much one of those things costs to replace. So plus then your dock will be on the at least half of your dock will be on the bottom of the lake because it'll just fill with water. I don't know how you'd have to like somehow drag it to the shore and detach it from the dock. And anyway, so that's what we did yesterday. Also took a scrubby and swam around the dock and cleaned off a bunch of the pollen that's stuck to it, but then there's still even more pollen. So I'm not sure how many more days of pollen we're going to have, and then it dissipates and you don't see it again for the rest of the summer. So I may have kind of prematurely cleaned off all the tubes, all the floats. All right, so today is fishing day. I'm going to see what I can catch for you guys. A few of you guys love the fishing. Some of you don't like catch and release. That's fine. Don't watch the videos where I'm fishing. So I'm pretty much, when I fish off the dock, I just fish for fun. I don't fish for food. So I'm not into killing fish, but I am into hunting them for fun and releasing them back into the wild. And they can be on somebody else's dinner plate, I guess. But I was pretty happy to catch the couple largemouth bass. So maybe we'll try some worm fishing first, and then we might throw in the stick worm again. So let's get this thing rigged up for us. Put up my little tripod. There we go. I noticed yesterday I wasn't in the frame all the way, so I apologize for that. I don't think I need that just yet. Got to drink your coffee. All right, so I grabbed another fishing rod. I got 3 of these fishing rods. They're kind of meant for crappie fishing. You can use them for any kind of fishing, but they're meant for crappie fishing. And so I put this little plastic on there. That one's fine that I used, but I rigged up. So this one is the Road Runner. So it's like a little lure. This one. Oh, no. Okay, that's my bass one. So here's our jig, pink jig with our slip float, and our weight is up the middle there. Let's throw a worm on it, see if we can catch anything first thing in the morning here on a Monday. We like staying up till Monday because Sunday is when all the traffic happens, people going home. And Carol hates traffic, and I love staying up till Monday too. It's just nice to drive home. Calm, cool, stress-free. All right, so we got our worm on. I need like a little bucket of water so I can wash my hands after every worm rigging. Every once in a while, the 2-piece pole slips. You gotta be careful. All right, let's see if we can do this. I'm gonna see if I can keep myself in the frame this time. There we go. Well, I caught a nice big perch off the front of the dock last night. Carol was doing some embroidering. She's trying something new. And I was just sitting back, relaxing, using the slip float bobber worm. And yes, this is a new hoodie. Somebody noticed that I bought a new hoodie from Muskoka Bearwear, and it's super comfortable, super warm. They had, I think, 2 or 3 new colors. So the kids each got green. I got the brown. Carol bought, I think, a zipper, like a full zipper. She doesn't like pullovers. I forgot to bring down my mouthpiece for that camera. I could give you a point of view of what I'm seeing, but nothing's going on right now. I'm actually surprised I haven't caught like more sunfish because they're probably, my whole life I've been catching sunfish. Especially when I was young, I used to just fish off the dock and I would catch dozens of sunfish. So I'm guessing it's the type of dock I have now. They don't like being out this far. I don't know, the structure under the water. Let's see how far I have this one. So got a feel for my bobber stop. My bobber stopper's there, so it's about, what's that, 3.5, 4 feet. So I'm trying to think, when I'm standing off this dock, it's a bit deeper than that. So let's go deeper. Let's try out here. I guess I'll just hold you guys for a minute while might have to put you down in a quick hot second. This camera doesn't really zoom, so, but just look for any movement whatsoever. Then we're gotta move it from spot to spot, because if there's zero movement, then what's the point in staying there for a long period of time? Waste your time if you're interested in catching fish right now. Yesterday, when I wasn't really interested in catching fish, I just threw my bobber there and just sat back and relaxed and watched Carol embroider and check the social media and just enjoy this beautiful weather we're having. And didn't really worry about the bobber, and then all of a sudden the bobber would be gone. And that's when I had the perch. I'm not sure about the laws of fishing where you guys are, but you're only allowed to fish with one fishing rod at a time. I have a license, I have a 5-year license. And my license is, look, I got some action. There we go. All right, come on, baby. And it's a sunny, yes. Nice, yay. A little fish action for you guys. This is awesome. So this is a sunfish. Whoa, 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 whoa. Very sharp spines, fins and stuff. Look at that beauty. Look at all that color, turquoise and red. Let's give him a quick send off. Nice. Definitely got to wash the fingers. So awesome. So we've caught a sunfish. Woo! Caught a sunfish for you. I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't think I was going to get one. Good thing about sunfish is they're usually in packs, and the perch love to hang out with them. So let's cast again. I'd love to catch a perch for you guys. That's kind of interesting that we changed the depth and we caught a sunfish. So, and I had just fished there prior to that, and I guess it was too shallow. Maybe this new way of bobber fishing is my favorite for catching this kind of fish. I'm not a huge lure kind of guy or topwater kind of guy. I'd love to get back into it, but you have so many hooks to deal with, and it can cause a lot of anxiety because all the hooks hook into everywhere, and you got to like unhook the fish, and you're stressing the fish out. So I like to use just single hook. A lot of times when I'm fishing with Ben, we'll actually push the barb in so that when you're unhooking the fish, it doesn't hook on the fish again. So squishing the barb down is again a more gentle way of fishing. It's more gentle on the fish, I guess you can say. So we only have one fish in the lake today. All the other fish are on vacation. That's funny, I was just about to give up when I saw the bobber twitching and moving. I knew something was up. Oh yeah, what time is it? It is 10 to 9. I got up at just before 8, had a couple coffees. Well, that's my second one. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of abandon this for a second. Again, you can only have one line in the water at a time. Let's give you another angle. There we go. Let's see if you guys can be in this one. But yeah, last night Carol and I watched, hi! Last night, Carol says, good morning. Last night we watched Apollo 13, and it's a great movie. I think that then we kind of started it early, so I think it ended at around 10, and I just went straight to bed, watched some TikTok, fell asleep. Okay, let's see. What's that? Oh yeah, the ducks. Wah. So that's a male mallard on the far right. They're probably like silhouetted a bit. Their colors aren't showing through. But the mallard has a beautiful green head and a little curl on his tail. And the female is just all brown and light browns. But they seem to enjoy our rock dock. And I think he's got 2 girls on the side. But they really like that rock dock. They actually came up onto the dock when we were sitting here last night. And I think she was trying to get away from him, or it was the other one. I think those 2 are kind of like matched. And the other one is, I guess, a side piece. I don't know. And then he was kind of like telling her to get lost. And he chased her up onto the dock and they kind of ran around for a bit. And so I'm not sure what was going on there. Okay, let's see if we can get a largie. Just want to see if that camera's good. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything in the shallow. If their back is wet, if the water's deep enough for their back to be wet, they could be anywhere in the shallows. If they're feeding or just playing around, you can sometimes just trigger a bite just because of the bait you're using. It kind of agitates the fish and just wants to kill it. And other times it's hungry and it's like, ooh, food. I'm gonna eat that. That looks yummy. And this bait, even though it's a soft plastic, they put salt in it so they hold on to it longer to help you get that hook set. So I'm like reeling and then giving it a couple twitches, and it's making the worm do a funky dance. If there wasn't as much stuff on the water, I could probably give you a little bit more of a demonstration, but I'm not sure if you guys can see that. So it's like twitch, twitch, let it fall. Twitch, twitch, let it fall. Twitch, twitch, let it fall. And they just love that stickworm. If they're around, if they're interested in playing. Some people say the only time to fish is at dusk or at dawn. I think you can fish anytime you like. Whether you catch anything, that's another thing. But I have noticed that between 8 o'clock and 9:30 at night is when I've caught the most bass and the biggest bass. Ben still, I think, holds the record for this lake for us, for our family. It was just a huge largemouth bass. And he was using, can't remember the type of jig it was called. It's been a while since I even talked about it, but it just looks like a really crazy looking bug. And then you attach another soft plastic to it that looks like a crayfish. So it's like a combination crayfish and furry animal or something. I don't know what the bass think it is, but they have to eat it. Oh, I thought it was a bass jumping over there, but the duck just took off, made a big commotion. I'm gonna cast one more time over there. Yeah, that's the spot. So I caught 3 largemouth. 2 of them I got to the dock, unhooked, and released them. The 3rd one was a self-release, but that was the biggest one. And I was afraid of picking it up out of the water because I was thinking that the hook would come out, but it did anyway. And then it shot my stickworm up in the air. It came off the line and flew up in the air and landed over there by the kayak. It was pretty funny. Okay, let's try the other side. See if what we can catch on this side of the dock. Can you guys see me? Good. Sometimes just as the stickworm hits the water, it triggers whatever fish is in that area and it just comes up, whoom, and grabs it. So by the time you're starting to jig it back, it's on, and it's amazing. That happened yesterday with the largemouth. As soon as it hit the water, it nailed it. I think all we're going to get this morning, people, is a sunfish. The anticipation's killing me. All the pollen, it's all coming this way today. Again, I feel like I'm moving. It's almost giving me kind of like a vertigo because I'm standing still. I'm looking at the stock, and the water is moving in unison that way. Well, at least the top layer is. Well, come on. We just had something. Come on. Whenever that happens, usually it's a small fish and it grabs like an end of the worm as opposed to the hook. So you kind of don't want those ones anyway, but it's kind of fun that there is something there. I guess what I should have done is thrown my worm there, because then it might be a smaller fish that will want to eat a live worm. There's definitely something to be said about live bait. I remember fishing with Carl in Gun Barrel City, Texas, and they were fishing with little jigs and plastics for crappie. And on our way into this area, there was a group of people, locals, fishing, and they were fishing with live bait. And when we came back, I think we had, I don't know, let's say 6 crappie, and they had a bucket full. So yeah, live bait was the way to go that day. Let's see if that fish is right here. There's a very big rock here that I can stand on. I'd probably be up to my waist, or maybe, yeah, right about here. And if you can fish around it, a lot of fish like to use that as cover and a potential ambush point. So if you know where all the rocks are, sometimes you have a better chance at catching something. Sometimes the color of the jig can help you attract fish. So you got live bait on it, then you can use pink or orange, green, and then there's yellow, and it's chartreuse. And I think Carl's probably caught most of his crappie with chartreuse. Any color combination, as long as it has the chartreuse in it. It's such a bright yellow. So whatever fish was here, he's moved on. I think I'll pause the video until I catch something. I don't want the video to be 3 hours long. All right, I'm gonna pause and then I'll be right back. And there's definitely something to be said, guys, about staying up till Monday. Just listen. No personal watercraft, nobody skiing, nothing but peace and tranquility. My nan and granddad used to live next door. They owned that 2-piece property there. The cottage was torn down when these people bought it, and they built this huge mansion there. But they used to know when it was Friday, because it'd be like this all week. And then as soon as Friday hit, the jet skis, the skiers, just lots of boat action. And it just went from this to recreational activity. So at that time, back in the 80s, I was gonna say 70s, but I don't think it was the 70s. I think it was the 80s. The jet ski, the one where it kind of looked like a torpedo, and the handle folded down, so you'd start in the water and you'd start to, and as it went, then you would stand up, and then the handlebars would come up, and then you can actually go like boom, go into the water and stuff. And they were really loud back then. They didn't know how to make them as quiet as they are now, but they're still pretty loud. But back then they were really loud, and that was the one thing my nan and granddad hated, was those jet skis when they first came out. Anyway, back to fishing. I got something. Oh, and it's a beautiful walleye. Wow. That's the biggest one we've caught so far. These guys, you cannot put your hand in their mouth. You gotta grab them. That was the best fight. My goodness, you're beautiful. Look how beautiful that guy is. You give him a little shake and he puts up his fins. Just stunning. And he's got these big teeth. Big teeth. You never put your hand. You're beautiful. Thank you very much. You know what that means? There's more, because they love to swim in schools. Let's try again. And he ate my worm. Time. He deserved that worm. I knew it was a big fish because he fought well. He fought really well. And that was a fresh worm too. So let's see. Let's see if we can do that again. Put you guys closer to me. There we go. It was right about there. Again, they swim in schools, so the school can move pretty quickly. But that bobber went down fast. That's definitely the largest walleye I've caught in years. Well guys, I think I can really end this video with that fish, because that was just an absolutely beautiful walleye, pickerel, whatever you want to call it. They do get up to 20, 30 inches, I believe. I think I've heard of people catching like 30-inch walleye or pickerel. They can get really big. I don't think I've ever seen a really big one on this lake. Maybe 20 inches. When I was like young, I caught one huge walleye off the rock dock, and I think that was the biggest one I've ever seen. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on these cottage vlogs. Fishing is not for you. Always skip over the fishing one. I'll try to put the word fishing in the titles, and if you don't like it, just skip over into the next one. If you do like it, let me know in the comments below. There's a fish straight out there. I can't cast that far, and the boat's not in the water, so I can't go investigate, see what's going on. Anyway, thanks for all your support, guys. Have a great week coming, and we'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.